Hello, we are back home and we are just getting over the jet lag, and we have one more video to show you some of the things we did during our last week in Taiwan.
Let me tell you about the men's breakfast we had at the Aroma. Normally I'm the facilitator at Grace on Wednesdays and Saturday mornings. At the Aroma I help set up, and it was more of a American style, not typically what most Taiwanese eat for breakfast. Is scrambled eggs, Taiwanese sausage, fruit, and we also had granola floured pancakes, which turned out pretty good as well. Our guest speaker was Anton. He's a member at Aroma. He's an English teacher from South Africa, and he was talking about men being the role model and being absent in the homes, and that typically Taiwanese work long hours. The kids are in school all the time, then they come home and they're on their tablets. That was followed up by prayer and some worship, and it was just a good time.
Testimony example to you, God. So God, we just pray that maybe sometimes we want to be like, no, let's just don't do this. But God, I pray that your Spirit will help us.
The Aroma had a St. Patty's Day party last week. The party began with a couple of icebreakers so people could get acquainted with someone new and possibly make a new friend. It seems to us that many of these young people are seeking friends. The typical Taiwanese student goes to school 11 hours a day, usually from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. The parents work 12-hour days as well. They place a very high priority on academic achievement as there is high competition for college admission. Chris taught them a little bit about St. Patrick, highlighting the connection to the Christian faith. Then two of the interns, Whitney and Maya, taught them some dances, the first being an Irish jig. These young people seem quite reserved in social situations. We were told by one of the Taiwanese Aroma employees that they are really not a dancing culture, so learning these dances puts them a bit out of their comfort zone. It was so much fun to watch them learn the dances and to laugh and to smile and to simply have fun. Many relationships begin at these events, and where there are relationships, there is a potential to share the gospel.
All right, again. Right. Left.
We met an interesting couple in an interesting way. Their names were Eleanor and Jake, and Eleanor's sister was a Facebook friend of Ken that he never actually interacted with. She was a Mandarin speaker, and he was seeking to practice Mandarin, and he got her name on Facebook through a language exchange program. She saw that Ken was her sister's Facebook friend and saw that he was in Taiwan and found us at Aroma. She was a bit surprised to find out that Ken had never actually interacted with her sister. They were a Christian couple and were interested in some of the ways that Aroma attracted young people because their church was struggling in that area. She spoke for a while with Pastor Andrew, and then they invited us to go to the mountains one day with them. They took us to an area called Wu Lai, where there were still Aboriginal Taiwanese living. We learned that she worked at the Far East Broadcasting Company, which was the first radio station that broadcast the gospel into China. Jake was formerly a military colonel. They were so interesting, and we felt blessed to get to know them. Our team went on a couple of excursions last week. First, we went to Datong Old Street, which is a Japanese-era section of Taipei. The architecture is left from when the Japanese occupied Taiwan. There was a place where you could dress in the clothing of that time. We had a lot of fun dressing up, especially Ken. Then we explored the markets in that area. A few days later, Pastor Chris's wife, Jamie, took us to the ocean and to the Yeliu Geopark, which is known for its unusual geological formations. It really looked like we could have been on another planet. It was beautiful. Then we went to the northernmost point in Taiwan, and then on the way home we drove through the mountains and we saw monkeys, lots of monkeys. This was an absolutely perfect day with friends. So blessed by our time here. Our last week was very busy with activities that will be lasting memories. We had another opportunity to lead coffee talk. We felt it went great and it was very well attended. I was so happy that Luke, who took piano with me, wanted to lead worship for our staff meeting. Then I got to join the worship team for Sunday service, and they were such a joy to play with. The staff gave us a farewell dinner. They all brought in their favorite food to share. They said goodbye with personal encouragement and prayer. We were also able to have another dinner with Chelsea and Jerry. We had great conversation and we look forward to seeing them again next year. One person that really stands out in our minds for this trip is Zoe. She said that when she met us, she believed it was God's way of bringing her back to Him. She is now going through the membership class at Aroma and is becoming very active in the church. She is a treasure, and we plan to maintain contact with her while we are home. Well, that's it. That was our last video for this year's Give Back experience. We've already started the process for next year. We will be in Taiwan between January 5th and April 5th. We will be doing a sharing session at Grace Church in Middleburg Heights on April 6th at 1:30 in the Fireside Room. We'd really appreciate your support and for following us on YouTube. And until next time,
谢谢上帝祝福你们。